Check the mic. We are live. It's halftime of the national championship game for basketball. So why not a little mock draft here, Sam? Trying something different, a little 3-round mock for one team. Is it our favorite team, the Detroit Lions? Who knows? Let's try it.
Yeah, it sounds good. Who's winning? We got a good game?
I think Houston's up by a few here over my Gators. I'm in and out, trying to put the kids to bed, clean the house, got stuff going on during the title game here. But yeah, Houston's up by 1, 29-28 at the half. Defensive struggle.
Don't know why I was asking.
Yeah, well, that's where we are right now. By the time you listen to this, game will be over. National champ will be crowned. 20 minutes for the rest of our lives is something Tim Tebow would tell them at halftime. 20 minutes for the rest of our lives.
Inspiring.
So let's do it. Lions 3-round mock. PFF simulator.
PFF mock draft. Sam, standard practice, only this time instead of picking every single team, we are just picking the Detroit Lions, which means we're kind of at the mercy for what the sim's going to do. So when I hit start draft, we're going to get the first round effectively simmed all the way down to, where do we pick? 28 and see who's left on the clock.
Let's just sitting here waiting at 20. Do we slow sim in case we want to trade up? No.
That's a bit late there.
It is a bit late. Look, James Pierce is available. We could have the same debate that we had about 12 hours ago.
I mean, this is actually, isn't it crazy? Certainly the top. Look, Cam Ward, Abdul Carter, Travis Hunter.
Genty
at 4 would be a bit of a shock, but Mason Graham 5, Tyler Warren, Shadur Sanders. This is, you can see it.
I'm going to need you to help out. You're going to have to help people out here with who is available now, because we didn't obviously go through it all.
Well, let's immediately go to the defensive line, because obviously that's where we're sort of focusing for the Detroit Lions. We got James Pierce Jr. from Tennessee, Nick Scarton from Texas A&M, Landon Jackson from Arkansas, Princely from Ole Miss, Braden Swinson. What else have we got on
your guy Swinson? Are you first to market in the first round for him?
I mean, we were this morning.
We had a big James Pierce discussion earlier about would they bring him in, and went against it. We went with Landon Jackson earlier today.
Right.
Oh, Derek Harmon still there?
Yeah. Notable names that are still on the board. We got Luther Burden, the wide receiver from Missouri. We got Omarion Hampton, running back from North Carolina. These are not guys that the Lions are going to grab, but just notable anyway. Colson Loveland, tight end from Michigan. Siobhan Ravel, the corner from East Carolina. Derek Harmon, as you said, from Oregon, the defensive tackle. Those are probably the biggest names that slipped out of this first round.
I love having Harmon there, man. I love that.
It's got to be, right? You would, you would love, in an ideal world, you would love an edge rusher. I think given the edge rushers on the board, unless they are completely convinced. I think James Pierce Jr. has first-round talent, but I don't know that James Pierce Jr. has first-round character. And unless they're convinced that the character is not a problem, I would be passing up on James Pierce at this spot.
Yeah, and I would just say, as far as the position, the defensive line, I would say is the position on this team that could be deeper and younger. They're deep and young all across this roster. So whether it's edge or defensive interior, I know they have Alim McNeil. I know they have DJ Reader. Again, neither of those guys are going to keep me from getting Derek Harmon, especially with Reader with 1 year left on his deal. I would prefer an edge rusher as well. Yeah. But if we're going to eliminate Pierce as not a Lions guy like we did earlier, Harmon just feels like this best player available at this point at 30. Was it 29?
28. Yeah, I think the need is more acute on the edge, but I think the player is better inside, or at least the totality of the prospect if we're factoring in off-field concerns. So I think Derek Harmon's the pick, yeah?
Yeah, I like it. Let's go Harmon.
All right.
This feels like a win
in the second round.
Feels like a win for us here, the Detroit Lions. Pick 60. Oh, Scattaboo's there, man. Oh, boy, Scattaboo is there. No, we're not going to go Scattaboo for the Lions.
Your guy, Scattaboo, is indeed on the board, as is Benjamin Morrison, Notre Dame cornerback.
It's another guy of mine.
We got some running backs. We got Jalen Royals, the wide receiver from Utah State. Kyle Williams, the wide receiver from Washington State. Shamar Turner, defensive tackle from Texas A&M.
So I would say
Harris still on the board.
Detroit's roster, again, very deep. And not only deep, when I look at depth of a roster, I look at short-term and long-term. And I think in both spots, they're pretty good. We could make a case for receiver. Are they going to re-sign Jameson Williams and
Right.
give him a ton of money soon? Is this a position where they could use more depth? I'm not saying there's anyone like Jameson Williams here, but like, would a Jalen Royals or Kyle Williams be discussed here? Earlier in the offseason, you were talking about corner, but then they go and sign DJ Reed. So between DJ Reed and last year's first 2 draft picks, they got a pretty good long-term plan at corner. But Benjamin Morrison, I think, would be incredible value here at the back end of the second.
Yeah, and like if you were looking at, so you're like, well, okay, edge rusher or defensive line is the biggest need. If we say that the defensive tackle Derek Harmon in the first round sort of ticked that box, even if it's defensive tackle rather than edge rusher, like the next need I would be chasing would be guard depth / competition. Someone who can compete with Christian Mahogany at right guard and potentially succeed Graham Glasgow at left guard. I don't know that the value is there at 60, and on the guard spot. I don't know if it is on the edge either. Like we've kind of lost the first group of guys, and we're definitely into the second wave now. The value, though, is those other positions. It is guys like Benjamin Morrison. It is the wide receivers. So you're almost kind of not locked in, but I think at this spot, you just sort of halt the slide of a guy like Benjamin Morrison and say it's too good a value to pass up.
See, I don't know if our Lions fans would like that, because there's not an immediate path to the field, which part of that is good because of the injury. You could, and I don't know if you necessarily want him playing on the inside. I don't know if you want Terrion Arnold playing on the inside or DJ Reed, because so now you are, I hate need-based drafting,
right? But
we are looking at having 3 outside corners for the foreseeable future on the roster for the next 3+ years. That's the only. That's the only issue there.
Alternatively, we do look at that wide receiver value and say, look, Jalen Royals, Kyle Williams, Trey Harris, Jalen Knoll, like these are all guys that I think are clear sort of second round talents.
Oh man, give me Knoll for this offense, man. Think about how many difficult to cover players they already have.
Yeah.
So now it's another vertical slot. It's another sub 4.4 guy. It does give you a little Jameson Williams insurance. I know some of those other guys are rated higher now on the PFF board. They just jacked Kyle Williams way up there. I know you really liked Kyle Williams, but neither of us liked him more than Jalen Knoll. And even though I had other receivers higher than him, I always talk myself into him because I just think he's so dynamic.
I don't want to say you can't go wrong, but basically any of those wide receivers I think is a good fit here. I don't think any of them none of them have a skill set that does not compute with what the Lions have. Like I would be all for any of those wide receivers.
I love Knoll here, man. I mean, some people suggesting Josiah Stewart in the chat. He's dropped a little bit, was more of a second round prospect. Consensus board has him lower. I get the Stewart love. He's got some juice off the edge. He'd be a nice compliment to Hutchinson, but he is dropping a little bit on the consensus board. Maybe expected to go more of in the third round at this point.
Yeah. I think the receiver value is really good. I would grab receiver and hope we get lucky in the third round.
I'm down. Do you want to get Knoll?
Let's do it.
Speed, baby. Another deep threat for Jared Goff. I love it. I like Knoll in a lot of different ways.
We could have waited and got Kyle Williams.
Look who's still there. Kyle Williams at the top here.
But so is Tate Ratledge, the Georgia mullet.
I love that. That would be David Walker would be okay.
David Walker on the edge. Now that's tempting as well.
There are some good options here. So third round, Devin Neal, the running back from Kansas, just came off the board to the Rams. Tate Ratledge from Georgia would be outstanding. And David Walker, the guy with the Brandon Graham body type from Central Arkansas, who can get after the quarterback. I really like that. I like Ashton Galati as well from Louisville. But second wave of edge rushers, it's a deep edge rush class. I still think you're getting some pretty good value here, even though we went with different positions with those first 2.
Yeah, I think you absolutely are. I mean, either one of those guys, I think Ratledge would come in and immediately be competition. And then I think David Walker could be he was the highest graded edge rusher at PFF last season. I think arguably, was it the highest ever in a single season? Like something insane like that. His pass rushing grades are off the charts insane. Obviously, you're talking about a lower level of competition. But 3 years of absolutely absurd grading, insane production. I mean, there's a pathway to immediate contribution for him, even if he's not necessarily an every down starter right away. And there's no reason he can't. I mean, he could absolutely step into that kind of role.
Chat's claiming that the Lions love UCLA here. Oladejo, fast rising edge rusher, by the way. He is getting a lot of love lately. I am a David Walker guy, though. I know our friend Mike Renner is. I think this would be, for us, I think this would be a really nice fit here.
Yeah, we teased this a little bit already, but we're going to have a video where we have basically every draft content creator we can think of sending us a little quick video of who their favorite player in the draft is. Any player, any round, for any reason. I think more than one have replied with David Walker so far.
Really?
So he's definitely a guy with a lot of fans.
Let's do it, man. If you're down, you down with it? Let's do it.
Done.
There it is. Your Lions 3-round mock draft. If you like this, we'll keep doing it. We'll go with a few different teams.
I don't care about trying to tell us we got it wrong.
I don't care about the grades. They do. I mean, they just grade based off their board, and doesn't matter.
Bottom 27% of drafts. Come on.
I don't care what their grades say for the draft.
I'm not having that.
For the draft grade. Look at that. You got Derek Harmon and David Walker as pass rushers now for the Lions, plus the deep threat of Jalen Noel. I think Lions fans would be thrilled with this 3-round mock.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I'm not having that at all. I think that's a pretty sweet mock. And look, particularly in the second round, we went with Jalen Noel, but they had a choice of like 4 wide receivers that would have all made a significant impact in this team and could have stepped in and been useful contributors right away. So I think if the draft did materialize this way for the Detroit, it's not a bad result at all. Yeah, you might not have got the edge rusher you were sort of expecting or chasing at the bottom of the first round, but this shows that you can still just go value and end up with a really nice trio of players.
To answer the question why we're doing this, because why not? It's draft season. Let's do some more drafts. We'll see if we can maybe we'll crank out a few more teams here throughout the week. Anything else you got here, Sam?
Fun with mock drafts. That's why we're doing this. Seth Walder was tweeting about ESPN's mock drafts. Sim was saying they have somebody, the most prolific drafter that they have has done like 2,200 Green Bay mock drafts. One person.
I love it. I hope it's somebody in the front office.
It's Mark Murphy.
It's Mark Murphy going through it. All right, Lions mock draft. Let us know in the chat who's the next team we should do a little 3-round mock draft for. Hit the thumbs up, hit the subscribe, do all the things. Never know when we're going to go live here. It's Check the Mic.